Have you ever looked at an area of your life and thought, there's no way this can be restored? Nehemiah looked at Jerusalem and saw broken walls, burned gates, and a hopeless people, but instead of ignoring it, he was broken. He prayed, fasted, wept, and positioned himself before God. Nehemiah was just a cupbearer to the king, not a warrior, not an engineer, but someone with a willing heart. This teaches us that your position or resources don't matter. When God places a burden on your heart, He also gives you direction. Nehemiah didn't act impulsively. First he prayed. That's crucial. It wasn't emotion, it was direction. How many times have we tried to rebuild in our own strength, without first seeking God's presence? Nehemiah understood that rebuilding starts within, in the secret place with God. Before touching the stones, he touched heaven with his prayers. What God placed in your heart may seem too big, but if it came from Him, He Himself will open the doors and sustain you. When Nehemiah arrives in Jerusalem, he finds more than broken walls. He finds opposition, mockery, and discouragement. Sanballat and Tobiah show up to laugh, criticize, and try to stop the work. But Nehemiah doesn't argue with those who don't understand his mission. He responds with action and prayer. The God of heaven will give us success. Nehemiah jumped while they were doing. And so, the rebuilding begins. Here's a powerful principle. Every rebuilding that tracks resistance. Every time you decide to rise up in God and your faith, your family, your purpose, the enemy will try to drain your strength with voices of doubt, fear, and fatigue. But Nehemiah teaches us to keep a tool in one hand and a sword in the other. Nehemiah jumpat lewa tujublas manit. In other words, build and fight, work with faith, but also remain watchful in prayer. If you're trying to rise again and feel the opposition growing, don't be alarmed. It's a sign you're on the right path. Remember, those who mocked you at the beginning will witness what God will do in the end. When the enemies realize that words can no longer stop the work, they try to deceive Nehemiah, inviting him to come down and be distracted. But he replies, I am doing a great work and I cannot come down, Nehemiah and Ambanding Tiga. That phrase is a spiritual shield. Nehemiah knew who he was, who had called him, and what he was doing. He didn't trade his purpose for distractions. Many of us start well but get discouraged halfway because of the voices pulling us down. Comparison, anxiety, digital distractions, wounds. But today God is calling you to remember, you are doing a great work. Your marriage, your children, your ministry, your faith, they are too important for you to come down. Stay firm. In the end, the walls were rebuilt in 52 days. What seemed impossible was accomplished through prayer, effort, and dependence on God. Not because Nehemiah was strong, but because he trusted in a God who strengthens him. So it will be with you. What today lies in ruins will soon become your testimony.